4 months ago, I released this video. 500,000 views and counting. It was about a Tinder experiment of an average looking guy. And today, I'm going to be showing the results of another experiment, but this time of a top 10% man. This is my friend Men's Maxing, who's clearly got his looks on point. Immediately you can see the difference in attractiveness of the two. Men's Maxing has a leaner face around the cheeks and jawline, has a thicker neck, more symmetrical nose and better eye area with more masculine eyebrows too, all compared with the average guy who is lacking in these areas. Because of this man falls in the average looks range of about a 5 or 6, while without a doubt Men's Maxing falls into the Chad category and scores an 8 out of 10. With this in mind, we'd expect him to get way better results on Tinder, and this is exactly what I have lined up for the video. Let's see if Mr. Chad can do better than the 3 dates in 4 months disaster from the last one. We'll start with the profile. Here are the images he used, all 8 of them. You can see it is quite a gym focused profile, with half of them being shirtless, which isn't always the best to do, but he is GIGA jacked, so he can afford to show it off a bit more. However, personally, I would have removed maybe 2 of the topless ones to make the profile more balanced. Other than that, it's clear these are top 10% pics. He looks sophisticated, stylish, approachable. There's no terrible ones bringing his profile down. In these 2, he looks like he's done some modelling work. So as a whole, these pics are definitely placing him in the top 10%, and are way better than the ones from the previous experiment which looked too friend-zonable. For a little more info, it's also worth mentioning he's 5'11" tall, 84 kg, 9% body fat, 23 years old, and lives in the 3rd largest German city, Munich, which has a population of 1.5 mil. Next, moving on to the all-important bio. He used 2 bios which he changed halfway through the experiments. The first being, the most beautiful curve on a woman is her smile. Then the second was more basic. Masters of Science and AI, self-improvement content creator, I'm looking for someone to build a connection with, I'm working a lot, but for a good relationship I'll take a day off. So obviously you can see these 2 bios have different purposes. The first being more flirtatious and insinuating a casual relationship, then the second presenting himself as an ambitious and relationship-seeking man. You can say the first bio will attract more short-term while the second more long-term. However, interestingly, he told me that whichever bio he used made no difference in terms of match results or the way women chatted to him. Which is basically what I've been saying on this channel all along. Bios don't matter. Women still sent flirtatious messages even when he was using the relationship bio. And the funniest thing he said, which happened several times, was women asked him, "What are you doing in your life at the moment?" when it literally says on the first line he's studying for his masters in AI. Finally, before the results, the profile settings. He set the age range from 18 to 25, max range to 100 kilometers. He purchased Tinder Platinum for €35, which basically increases his visibility. And lastly, he applied the setting which allows Tinder's algorithm to order his photos in the way it sees as optimized. Anyway, now on to the actual results. There's a lot of numbers here, so listen closely. He spent a total of 6 days swiping, and in that time he swiped 2,523 times. Or roughly 400 a day. Of these, he swiped right on 1,019, so he rejected 1,504. I told him to swipe right for girls 5 and up, so 40% of them met this standard. Of the 1,019 he swiped right on, he matched with 146, and didn't with 873, which isn't actually that bad. That's a 1 in 7 match rate. Way better than the 1 in 27 match rate from the last video where he got nothing from over 7,500 swipes. Next, of the 146 successful matches, just 5 opened on him first, while he sent the first message to the 141 others. However, he did tell me he messaged immediately if and when he got a match. So some of the girls he opened could potentially have messaged him first if he left it a while. Then, of this 141, 87 responded to his opener, which means 54 didn't send a single message back. Next, of the 87 responses, plus the 5 that already opened on him, 68 of these made it past 5 messages, which you could class as short conversations. So 24 never got off the ground. Then, of this 68, this resulted in a little under half of them giving their number, which was 32. So the other 36 either fizzled out or refused to give their number. Next, for the 32 numbers our guy received, this is where he started getting a little lazy. He only bothered to message 12 of the girls on WhatsApp. So the other 20 were left in the dark after giving their number. And if I'm honest, this is the only major point I think our guy could have done better. He's essentially let 2/3 of his potential results leak out through this mistake alone. And this is after he's already done a lot of the work by matching, messaging, and getting their number. But to give him a little slack, he did say the biggest bottleneck by far for him was time spent messaging. He said it got to the point where he started sending copy-paste messages to all girls 2 to 3 points below his level. So he only put in effort and sent tailored messages to the hottest ones. Next, of the 12 conversations on WhatsApp, he offered dates to 6 of them. So the other 6 went cold after a short while. Then finally, of these 6 attempts, one started making endless excuses for why she can't go, another blocked him as soon as he offered, so at last, for the other 4, they all said yes and actually showed up too. Anyway, there are your results, and now in short form. Our guy swiped right 1019 times, which led to 146 matches, which then led to 32 phone numbers, and finally he offered 6 dates for which 4 said yes. Not bad for 6 days worth of work. And now, to show you further proof of how easy it was, here are some screenshots of his message conversation showing the lack of effort and game required to still get women to follow along. Do you want to cure me for my loneliness?
I don't speak German, babe.
Love does not need a language. Drop me your number.
157. Hey.
One night stand?
Sure.
Do you want to cure me for my loneliness?
Come to my place.
Where do you live?
Frankfurter Ring. And you? Here's my Snapchat. Text me.
For a peanut butter eater, you are in good shape.
There needs to be a balance.
I'd like to pick you up, but then I would also eat all your peanut butter.
That would be bad.
I would also you.
That would be better.
Nice. Are you going to give me your number?
016.
I like your style.
Thanks.
How about a round of hip-hop dancing?
No, but I can do a split for you.
On the floor? You'd be cuter if you responded.
On top of you. Hey, you over there.
Hello?
So...
Are you going to give me your number? We'll set something up for later.
I don't know you yet.
That's what dates are for. So, your number?
017. Hey, you over there?
Do you have time this week?
For what?
A date?
I'd love to, but this week I'm extremely busy. And all you want to have is right?
Of course. Only.
I'd do it, because I'm but I don't have time.
Are you going to give me your number? We can set something up for later.
017.
I want to do yoga with you.
Soon.
Are you going to give me your number?
+4917.
So, as you can see, our guy was able to navigate his way texting with little to no resistance, getting numbers with ease. The girls made references sometimes, and in a few cases the girls double texted or opened on him, which are both considered very strong choosing signals. And this is all on top of the fact that I don't even think his game was perfectly optimized. He told me himself for a lot of messages he was joking around. I mean, I wanna do yoga with you? What is this crap? If a sub 5 sent this, he'd never in a million years get the girl's number 5 messages later. Put simply, only the top 10% of men get this kind of treatment online, and the screenshots are there to prove it. Now, for the final few minutes of the video, I want to draw comparisons of our Chad's results today to the first experiment I showed of the Normie 4 months ago. This is where you'll really see the difference being a Chad makes. So, follow along by allowing me to explain for the final 3 minutes, and I'll prove to you that Chads have approximately a 10 times easier time on dating apps than Normies. Here goes. I've stated before that Tinder for guys is like one big funnel, and each layer leads to a smaller pool of options and more women leaking out. So, by the end, your results are reduced to a mere handful. That's if you have any at all. And the point is, the efficiency of each of these layers is crucial, because the amount of leakage per layer multiplies with all of the others. E.g., an efficiency of 50% across a single layer is twice as good as 25%. But across 4 layers, having a 50% efficiency is 16 times more efficient than the 25%. And this is what we see in our experiments. If we break down each layer of leakage for both the Chad and Normie, we see that besides the first layer, which is the input, the next 4 layers yield far better results for the Chads. Therefore, by the end, given the fact they multiplied together, it leads to a 10 times more efficient system. The Normie swiped right 7,886 times, while the Chad 1,019, 8 times less. The Normie got 290 matches, while the Chad got 146, 2 times less. The Normie got 68 conversations, and the Chad also got 68, the same. The Normie got 11 phone numbers, the Chad got 32, 3 times more. Then finally the Normie got 3 dates, while the Chad got 4, 33% more. Here you are seeing this multiplying effect in action. The Chad was 4 times more efficient at getting women to swipe right on him, 2 times more efficient at getting women to hold conversations, 3 times more at getting women to give their phone numbers, and lastly 2.5 times less efficient at getting dates. However, if we bear in mind our Chad only messaged 12 of the 32 numbers he got, we see that he was still slightly more efficient on this layer. Now, some guys will cope and say, the reason he got better conversion rates was because he had better game, bro. This is flat out wrong. He did better because of looks, not game. I don't need to reread his text conversations to prove that. Here's how it is. Women are always more easygoing and invested when texting a Chad than a Normie or sub 5. They're more likely to give out their number, more likely to message, and in some cases send the opener, more likely to keep the convo going once it's started. That's why the Chad's conversion/efficiency rates were better. And the data is even there to prove it. If you're at the bottom attractiveness as a man, 80% of your messages will go ignored. If you're at the top, less than half of them will. Similarly, the most attractive men get 10 times more women opening on them than unattractive guys. So, don't say it was about game, it has very little to do with game. In fact, dating online, your looks is your game mostly. Anyway, all in all, when we calculate their efficiencies by multiplying all the layers together, we see our Chad had to swipe right 255 times in order to get a date. Meanwhile, for our Normie, he had to swipe more than 2,500. That's 10 times the difference. And this isn't even including the fact that Chad didn't text 2/3 of the girls he got numbers from. This shows the exponential increase of how much it pays to be a Chad. The bottom line is, though there might only be a couple points in looks separating the Normie from the Chads, in terms of results there is a 10 times difference separating them. That's the change being a Chad makes. Anyway, huge shout out to Men's Maxing for gathering the data for the video. It's been really insightful. In fact, if you've been intrigued by this and want to see more on the experiments, Men's Maxing has just uploaded a video at the exact same time as this one with extra content on his experience. And you'll be surprised to know it's not always been this way for him, as he shows in the vid how terrible his results were beforehand. So if you want to get an insight to his journey, check the description now, you'll be taken to the video.